of AD and
45th.
Christine, 45th wedding anniversary of AD and Christine Towers. So congratulations to them. She's out selling raffle tickets today, and he's just picking up the cones after the pre-match warm-up. So another day down at Nethermore, as it has so often been for them.
So he knows how to spoil it, doesn't he? Eh? Opening game of the season.
They were supposed to be retired to Madeira by now.
So Guiseley are out in our brand new kit for the season. It's a white shirt, if you haven't seen it, light blue shorts and socks, sort of a baby blue rather than the dark navy blue we've been accustomed to, with blue sleeves. Lynn, you're not going to miss them this afternoon. They are playing in a very bright lime green kit with black socks, and they've brought some vocal fans along with them as they are looking forward to making their debut into the Vanarama National. Referee just going through the final checks around the ground and about to blow the whistle and get us off underway in this new 2019-20 season, and Kings Lynn will get the ball from the back up towards the front man before it's a good header from Scott Garner. A good early start here for them, or a bright piece of play there from Kings Lynn, but they've immediately had the ball played back into their half. A chase on there for Kane Felix, but the ball's back with the goalkeeper Alexander Street.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like they finished their kit shopping in closed season, Kings Lynn, because Street, the goalkeeper, wearing a purple kit, but he doesn't have purple socks with it. He's wearing a pair of green and black socks that look like they were left over from the outfield kit bin. And that doesn't really work for me, especially not with the bright orange boots. It looks like he's been time warped in from the 1980s, Colin.
Ball's just been headed on. Oh, Felix is chasing in there as the goalkeeper Street came out to capture the ball. There was a good knock on, a good flick on there from Aaron Martin, who impressed in pre-season. And Felix, who's playing a much more advanced role, moved from the wings and into the central forward position. He couldn't get on the end of that one. Ball's forward, and Hamza Ben Sharif has been penalised. And it's a free kick, a rather cheap free kick that's been given just about 10 yards up from the angle of the penalty area on the right-hand side. This is a dangerous position for the Lions to defend against.
It is, yeah, perfect distance and angle to take a free kick from, and Aram Solomon there just standing a little bit too close to the taker to make sure nothing quick happens. But in truth, the referee's away having a chat with the striker Gash here in preparation for this set piece to be taken. Everyone lining up on the edge of the Guiseley area.
So a free kick now, an early test now for the Lions and for possibly Guiseley keeper George Sykes-Kenworthy. Had a quiet afternoon last Saturday against South Shields. It's going to be much more of a challenge here. Michael Clunan, the Kings Lynn captain, stands over the ball on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Floats this one in. Well, it's met by the head of Chris Smith. The number 4 leapt up, but could only direct his header high and wide, and it's behind for a goal kick. But that was a nicely floated ball into the box. And he could have perhaps capitalised more, the visitors, from that set piece.
Now, interestingly, the shirt numbers don't match up with the positions that the players are taking so far. Kane Felix is wearing the 7. He looks like he's going to be playing up front alongside Martin. And Gabriel Johnson, who's wearing 11, seems to have started out on the right wing.
Now a good flick on here from Martin, sends it through to Felix. He just gets the ball past the goalkeeper. Couldn't direct it in on goal, but that was a prime example of the flick on from the centre forward, Aaron Martin, flicking on, looking for the run of Kane Felix. Almost worked through there. But unfortunately, although Felix just got there ahead of the goalkeeper, the ball wasn't on target and it goes behind for a goal kick.
No, it was good movement, that, and it was good quick passing as well, and cautious signs for optimism. That means Aram Solomon, just to finish the previous point, he's wearing the number 10 shirt, but he's started out on the left wing. But we know that probably apart from Martin, the other 3 sort of wide or attacking players, they can all play in any of those positions. So it'll be interesting to see whether they vary that as the game goes on.
Now Johnson played a bit of a dodgy ball there for McNally to deal with. He dealt with it, but Kings Lynn still have the ball until a good step up here from Ben Sharif, atoning for that earlier error with the free kick. He gives it into the left-hand side, and Brad Nicholson, the left back, gets the ball forward before it's returned into the Lions' half. Headed away. Real action now underway here at Nethermore. It's a real test now for the new look Lions. Kings Lynn, who'll be looking to make an immediate impression on this division. Currently have the ball on the halfway line here with Macaulay, the centre half, sharing it with his fellow centre half Smith before the ball is sent down the channel here. Hamza Ben Sharif up in the air, heads the ball out. Going to be a throw in, about level with the penalty spot on the right hand side. So again, the visitors can get the ball forward.
I hadn't really processed quite what a new look team this is. There's really only Scott Garner left, and sorry, Kane Felix of the permanent players from last season.
Kings Lynn just beaten down as they try to work the ball down that right flank. They retain possession though inside the centre circle with lots of players forward as Rory Macaulay looks for a pass. He's more patient though, goes square, and it's built up until Hamza Ben Sharif sort of clatters into the back of that Marriott, but this time there's no free kick. Ball goes forward and it's put out of play for a throw for guys about level this centre circle. A couple of people on the chat room. A big shout. Thank you for the messages, by the way. Keeps us awake. CDP, happy new season to everyone. Very hopeful for a successful season, even. And listening from a sunbed in Sola in Mallorca. Sounds nice, actually. Where's Andy Otley there? Kefalonia. Beautiful. Still a mate who's just come back from Kefalonia. He says, absolutely beautiful place. Still 0-0. 5 minutes gone. And Aaron Martin can't get past his man, but does earn Guiseley a throw on the right-hand side, about level from the edge of the 18-yard box. And it looks like it's going to be George Candrell to take this. We've not got the Niall Heaton long throw anymore, have we? I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Nick Silence says it all. Got plenty of bodies now getting into the box. Ben Sharif and Garner are both up for this one. It goes long from Cantrell towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Cantrell gets it back down under control but can't keep possession, and in the end it's cleared and away. It's one that Brad Nicholson has to watch well, and he chests it down well, but then almost is robbed possession by Henderson, who just tried to intercept the rather languid pass out to the right-hand side. In the end, Guiseley have a bit of defending to do now because Nathan Fox takes a throw, takes it back here to Rory Macaulay. Again, they work out from the back.
So early indications are not that Brad Nicholson is two-footed then. Because he had two good goes at that with his right foot and was left with his head in his hands.
He was playing central defence for a moment there, wasn't he? Garner and Ben Sharif were upfield. There's a clatter on George Cantrell on the edge of the centre circle there. Referee blows very quickly to ensure that the free kick is awarded. Yeah,
right decision. And Cantrell just takes a moment to check everything's where he left it and gather his discombobulated senses, and he's back on his feet now.
Garner will take the free kick on the edge of the centre circle inside the Lions half, but they're a line of 4 or 5 being held up high by Kings Lynn, who don't want to concede too much ground. The ball floated over, actually in the end, by Nicholson towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Now comes Alexander Street, claims the ball well. Back down into the Lions half, and Nicholson is aware of the danger, intercepts. Guiseley again dispossessed though in the centre circle. This time Martin can't win the header. Good challenge comes in from George Cantrell to regain the ball for the Lions, but only temporarily. Fry it now as the ball played into the Lions half as Kings Lynn look to work their way through the Guiseley back line, but patient play nonetheless. Can't find an angle through. Good shape kept by the Lions. Macaulay again trying to work out from the back, sends it out to the right hand side and gets it back with no progress made by the visitors. Again, it's a nice unfortunate deflection, but it sends the ball through here. Henderson's one-on-one with the goalkeeper, tinks it over, saved off the line by Nicholson. It was a deflection that fell in the path of Henderson, who timed his run well in any case. He went through on goal, beat the goalkeeper by dinking the ball over George Sykes-Kenworthy, but back was Brad Nicholson to clear the ball before it went over the line inside the 6-yard box, and it's now a throw into Kings Lynn.
In the run-up to that, I was watching the Guiseley defence, and it looked like they were quite compact and keeping their shape. And as you say, it was just unfortunate timing with that deflection, stepping up, leaving a great big gaping hole in behind. Good covering by Brad Nicholson on the line.
Ball now with the visitors once more and into the box. And McNally's got a job of work to try and prevent any headway being made here by Jones. In the end, there's a goal kick given, although McNally looked like he was in a little bit of trouble there. He's managed to hold firm, and in the end it's a pressure relieving goal kick for the Lions. Right start for the visitors. We've had an opportunity with Kane Felix, but I think they've slightly edged it.
Well, they've got good strikers. I was talking to Chris beforehand, and he was excited to see Gash and Marriott playing. So he thought they carried a real threat, and it looks like he's correct. So if there's a weakness in the Guiseley back line, it's that you got two experienced central defenders, but there's not an awful lot of pace amongst those two, and so the covering of these youthful fullbacks is going to be really important.
Ball just on the back line for Kings Lynn at the moment. Getting possession of the ball. I feel it's somewhat of a tactic for guys to suck in the visitors into their half, try and catch on the counter. Gabriel Johnson scored all those goals last weekend. He's pressed and harried the ball as it's forced back to Alexandra Street, but no avail really, still with Kings Lynn. That's a bit of a eyebrow-raising early goal in the National North. First goal, I think, by my reckoning. Just looks in the results here. Farsley 1-0 up against Darlington, it says. Ball goes long again by Kings Lynn, and it requires a bench reef header. And then McNally doesn't settle on the ball well, and the ball is knocked out for a throw-in. It's back here with Jarvis. Jarvis, square. Good turn on the ball here by Marriott. Marriott towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Another one here. Henderson makes a bit of space, goes in towards the box. Peels for a foul inside the edge of the D, does Gash, but there's no such foul. And then Kane Felix, as he stretches to get the ball at the other end of the field, just raises his foot a little bit too high trying to win the ball and concedes a free kick on the edge of the 18-yard box to Kings Lynn.
I'm really interested to see how Farsley get on this season. It's been an awful long time coming. The rebuilding process has taken a decade or more, I guess, for them, and first time back in the division. One or two of old faces that we know who are still along there, and of course we're hoping they don't turn out to be too good. Otherwise, we're going to have a miserable old Christmas and New Year, aren't we? Because they're our derby game for the bank holidays.
So Guiseley have to defend a free kick that's sent long. McNally does well to get the ball away. Felix to chase this one down. Doesn't win it, but Gabriel Johnson wins the second phase. He's got Solomon, who's not had much of the ball so far, inside the centre circle. Picked up by Cantrell. Good play from Cantrell. Plays it out to the left-hand side. Nicholson. Solomon now. Just dinks the ball through towards Cantrell. A bit short. Cantrell has to battle to try and win it back. Henderson wins it back for Kings Lynn. Good physical battle. Cantrell wins the day there. Solomon now on the left-hand side, trying to get a cross in, but he's just simply brushed off there by Aaron Jones. Picked up now by Cantrell. He floats the ball into the box. Helped away well by Chris Smith, the Kings Lynn defender. Clears, and it's out for a Guiseley throw, but that's better from the Lions.
There's a lot of energy and a lot of movement from these players, exactly what we were hoping to see. Also, I quite like the way the referee's running the game early on. There's been a couple of things that both teams have asked for that he's not given, and he's let the game run a little bit, and that it would have been a totally different thing we'd be talking about if he'd whistled for a free kick halfway through there for something light.
13 minutes gone. Long throw goes into the box, and then an acrobatic effort from Gabriel Johnson that didn't really have any pace, and it trundles through to Alexandra Street, who collects the bouncing ball.
Because I have a feeling the way George Cantrell plays, there's going to be a lot of times this season where players are going to be turning to the referee and going, "Can I have a free kick for that?" Because he's all hustle and bustle and energy, and he's really keen to win the ball back when it's with a player who's near him. And you sort of want that, don't you? You want to see a bit of energy, and you want to see a few tussles, and only give the fouls when a foul's actually been committed.
It's going to be a throw now to Kings Lynn. It took a bit of a deflection, the ball down the right-hand side. That means they've got a throw back level with the edge of the 18-yard box. Making some good ground down that right flank. Marriott now on the ball up by the corner flag. Takes a deflection, another throw. About level with the 6-yard box this time. Blythe at home to Gloucester today in the Vanarama North. 552-mile round trip, says CDP. Is there a longer one? Not sure.
So Andy Otley's suggesting Dover to Barrow.
That wouldn't be National North, though, is it?
No.
But he didn't finish with North, did he? Yeah, Andy Otley's right, of course. If you were to make it the National, well, North seems crazy,
way,
doesn't it?
I don't fancy any of those trips.
No. Nicholson with a lunging challenge doesn't get a connection. Fortunately, plays on. It goes into the box. Gash is looking for it. Guys, you defend, get it away up towards the edge of the 6-centre circle. Picked up now here by Macaulay, but Solomon's out swiftly to put the ball out of play.
I understand the question now. Sorry, it was a more subtle question. So CDP says, Blythe at home to Gloucester in the north, 552-mile round trip. Not sure there's a longer one, like even in the National League. Not sure there's a longer one.
Right, okay. They're on a higher intellectual plane than we are, Nick.
And he's answered his own question. There must not be too much happening in Mallorca. So the Dover to Barrow round trip is 200 miles further in total. And there's Torquay Barrow as well. Anyway, I don't like any of those clubs, and two, I don't fancy any of that amount of time. No offence, Colin, but being cooped up in a car together for that amount of time, I'm not sure. Are you sure?
Okay, I'm not. But Kings Lynn have the ball at the moment. They're on the right-hand side. And they can't keep it in play, and it's gone out for a goal kick.
We could do it in your tour bus.
My tour bus, yes.
I could just sleep in the back.
Yeah, the Guiseley radio mobile.
Oh, it just needs some vinyl signage on the outside.
Eastleigh 1, Notts County 0 in the National League. And that's a goal for Eastleigh. Notts County not starting off well in that division. Dagenham Redbridge 0, Woking 1. Hartlepool 0, Sutton 1. Nothing else in our division, I've noticed. Yet.
Have you missed this?
I wouldn't say missed.
I was going to say, if you have, I doubt it'll last until half-time.
Garner gets the challenge in to take the ball away from Gashers. Again, the ball goes into Lions half. This time it's back into Kings Lynn's territory, and Maratin wins the ball well, floats it in from the right-hand side. Bit too high, but does force Aaron Jones into a hurried clearance, and it's a corner kick to Guiseley. First one of the season.
Yeah, Aaron Solomon looked like he was going to take. He's been joined by Gabriel Johnson now.
Corner taken short. Johnson collects, gives it back to Solomon. Level with the edge of the 18-yard box. Plays it nicely infield here. Spencer will have a go from distance. Good save from the goalkeeper down to his left to palm that one away, Alexander Street. But the ball picked up again by Felix. Gets it into the box. Good cross. Cleared by the captain, Clunan. Collected again by Cantrell. Cantrell floats this one back into the area. Another nicely floated ball in towards Hamza Ben-Sharif on the edge of the 6-yard box. Can't get the ball in towards goal before he's clattered by two players defending deeply and desperately there. Street claiming the ball in his hands in the end. And the danger passes, but good moments there for the Lions.
It was a really well-worked short corner. I'm not normally a fan of them, but it was not just a short corner and whatever. There was the player coming out of the box to receive it and take the shot, and it was Spencer. And he needed a good save from the goalkeeper, and then good pressure after that to make another chance while we still had the bodies in the box.
Henderson on the ball now. Goes back here to Fryatt. He lays a rather loose pack pass. Goalkeeper Street was alive to the danger. He came out of his area quickly as Felix was charging down on him. He gets there ahead of Kane Felix and clears. And now Guiseley finding a bit more joy. It goes forward again, but this time Martin's not going to claim the ball down that left-hand side. Just a little bit too far ahead of him. Farsley 2-0 up now, by the way, against Darlington. And Altrincham scored the opener against York. Altrincham 1, York 0. Lewis Walters signed for them this week as well, didn't he?
Yeah, that's another nailed-on goal at Nethermore for a visiting team.
There's plenty of them.
I bet he'll have a final ball when he plays for another team.
It's Nathan Cartman with the goal for Farsley. 2-0 their lead now. That's confirmed. Solomon now on the ball on the halfway line. Square, short to Spencer. Spencer can play it on to McNally, but he's just over hit it. A bit of a toe poke under pressure. Takes it away from McNally, and it's going to be a throw-in for Kings Lynn. A bit untidy from Guiseley and Patches. It's a young team, though, isn't it?
Well, it's a very young team, and they're going to make mistakes, aren't they? And what we want is over the course of a season to see players improving and adding more and justifying a place in the first team, because if you can do that and you can get players fond of being at the club, and then maybe you don't have to have the huge turnover every season that's been so endemic the last couple of years.
McNally goes on a great run down the right-hand side, waiting for the pass. He gets it, wins it, plays it back here to Johnson. Gabriel Johnson finds a nice ball here to Spencer, edge of the 18-yard box, plays it in. Good header, what a goal! A super header there from Aaron Martin to give the Lions the lead. And a really smart move from Guiseley. Started with the run of Rhys McNally down the right-hand side, played it back here to Spencer on the edge of the 18-yard box from Johnson. Spencer's cross beautifully floated into the box, and Aaron Martin's debut goal for the Lions gives Guiseley the lead. Guiseley 1, Kings Lynn 0.
Well, if in the season you go out and you go and sign a striker, you do it because you hope he scores some goals. 20 minutes for the first return on that trust shown in Aaron Martin. And I tell you what, it was a really nice curling ball by Spencer onto the head of Martin, because he was very central, actually, Spencer, and difficult to get the angle and the curl to give Martin enough to work with. And there was enough on the ball that he was able to direct it with a good amount of pace past the goalkeeper. So really, really nice little goal to get our season up and running.
Henderson gets the ball straight away and takes a shot from range. It was played into the chest of Gash. He chested it down. Chris Henderson with the volley, and he couldn't direct it on goal. And that was almost an ideal response from Kings in Town, but as it is, it's a goal kick to the Lions. That almost spoilt the party, didn't it?
I carried on talking on the assumption it wouldn't go in, because I'm choosing optimism this year.
Nick, you just carry on talking. That's just what you do. Oh, touched a nerve there. The ball's gone into the Kings in half, and Martin thinks he's won it back, but the flag is up for a throw-in. It was not kept in. And in left-back position, Kings then will work the ball out here with Rory McCauley, ready to launch one down the left-hand side. Be interesting to see how that changes the way that the game might be approached.
Yeah, it will.
Ball won back here by Solomon inside the centre half. He gets into the area, gets a shot away, just past the goalkeeper, flashes past the upright and behind for a goal kick. But great work there from Aaron Solomon. Real good invention. Picked the ball up from interception, ran through a couple of defenders and then tried to drag the ball towards the left-hand side of the net with the goalkeeper stretching out, but he couldn't keep it on target, and it's behind for a goal kick.
Well, that's the fluidity that we were talking about earlier, the ability of these players to interchange. So that's Solomon, who's playing out wide left, and he's drifted all the way across to shooting from right and inside the area. And that sort of movement is hard to defend against, and I tell you what, there's a serious challenge on Kane Felix.
Advantage goes on, though, and McNally's got it down the right-hand side, lays it in here to Spencer, again tries to cross and curl the ball into the box, this time headed away. It'll be a throw into Guiseley. Referee might just have a word with whoever it was that clattered into Kane Felix. He doesn't. He gets back on, and we continue here with McNally trying to find the angle for a cross. He picks out Johnson instead, whose cross is blocked down by the captain, Clunan. The cross from his left foot's overhit as he gets the ball back and goes out for a goal kick. Still 1-0 to Guiseley, 22 minutes gone. The goal from Aaron Martin, a super header after a great move from the Lions, gives Guiseley advantage.
That's a bit unusual, this, isn't it?
Not feeling positive.
Yeah, it's very, very unfamiliar.
There's still roughly 70 minutes of football to be played, so
But
plenty of time for it to change. Right?
The normal thing is that we have a couple of encouraging pre-season friendlies and find out in the first half hour of the new season that it was all an illusion and we suck.
Now the ball over the top here, and Kane Felix has judged it well. Gets the ball down on the edge of the 18-yard box, away from the defender Chris Smith. Then lunged in to get a shot in on goal, but this time didn't hit with power or pace, and it rolls past the upright. The goalkeeper never really under threat in that instance. And the ball is a goal kick in the end. Curzon beating Bradford Park Avenue 1-0. I think they're going to struggle this year, Bradford Park Avenue. I do feel that.
I don't wish ill on anyone, but after the way they treated Mark, I've lost a level of sympathy for them. You know, whatever happened there last season was a total mess. The season was going brilliantly, and then in the end it all fell apart. And obviously they've just lost their chief executive a few days before the start of the season for whatever reason, and a lot of their volunteers have been stood down from the things they were doing at the club, and it all just sounds like a great big mess over there, to be quite honest.
Johnson just gets the ball back to Garner, and that young lad at Hurst, you remember from the Boxing Day game, the annihilation we had, he's just signed for Port Vale as well this week, so one of their better players has left as well. Guiseley still leading by a goal to nil. Ball with King's Lynn, not missing anything at the moment. CDP just pointing out, as it stands, we're third in the league. That's a good stat.
So
can we stop the season now?
I was going to say, if we make it to half-time on that basis, can we just call it done? I would wait 12 months for competitive football if it meant we'd finish third in the league.
King's Lynn just getting a bit of possession here, a bit ahead of steam. Third is beyond my expectations for the season.
Absolutely.
Starting promisingly, though, with an early goal for Guiseley. Ball forward now by Macaulay as Kings then look to get back into this. Jarvis, Henderson, back here to Macaulay, and again, square here with Fox. Going to float this one in towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Good flick down here by Gash. It's into the area. Gash will get a shot away, but he skies it high and considerately misses the scoreboard as well as it goes behind for a goal kick. 1-0 to the Lions.
That's kind of him to be so bad that he misses the scoreboard, because Dave's put a lot of work into that again in the close season. We now have a clock that counts up, which is pretty cool, and it runs video as well now, so we can run little clips on there from some of the clubs, local partners, sponsors in the area. So that's really good. We still have to get up on a ladder to switch it off at the end of the game.
Ball's forward now, and Felix is chasing after it after a good flick on again by Martin. He's doing that role ever so well, Aaron Martin, but also has the goal to his name too. Hereford 1-0 up against Spennymoor. Interesting. I think Hereford could be a one to watch this year. Oh, a loose touch here by Spencer, and then a free kick looked like in the offing when Adam Marriott went down, as Spencer looked like he was just making sure that Marriott didn't make progress after his loose touch. Referee didn't see it the same way, and we play on, much to the, shall we say, disagreement of the visiting team. The ball's played long now, looking for Martin. It's forced out by Jones. It'll be a throw into Guiseley, and I suspect the referee will get a little bit of feedback on that incident. Yeah,
that one did look more like a foul to me. Again, the referee's letting the game run as much as he can, but wouldn't have been surprised if he'd blown his whistle actually that time.
Still 1-0. Now Guiseley have a throw midway through the Kings Lynn half on the left-hand side. 10 yards up from the edge of the 18-yard box. This one taken by Nicholson, takes it short into Solomon, who's down by the corner flag, trying to get past Jones. Solomon trying to find an angle for a pass. Plays it in towards the edge of the 18-yard box, and Clunan is well onto it. Guiseley win the ball back. It's a big challenge in on Spencer, as you can hear from the reaction of the crowd, but Spencer rides it, keeps going, goes down the left-hand side, crosses into the area. Johnson with a lunging header, but it's saved by the goalkeeper. And that was all Jamie Spencer there. Rode a very strong challenge, worked his way down the left-hand side, and then crossed into the box. It just didn't have the pace on the ball that allowed Gabriel Johnson to connect with pace with his header, and in the end it was just slow enough for Alexandra Street to be able to claim inside his area. Still 1-0.
Almost a bit surprised that referee didn't double back for a word with Jarvis, who was the opposing number 8 who put the challenge in on Spencer, but I guess as it led to a good goal opportunity for the Lions, we can be pretty happy with how it turned out.
I don't mind actually, the refereeing seems pretty open to letting things go.
If every game was refereed like this, we'd have a lot less to say about officials over the course of the season, wouldn't we?
Right, so I think he's doing a decent job, and it feels like quite an honest afternoon so far. Both teams coming at it with a fair degree of attacking intent. Guiseley certainly trying to create things as the ball just goes back to Alexandra Street under no pressure. And I think it's an enjoyable game so far. And I'm always wary of the team that's come up, especially through the playoffs, because the natural instinct is to say, well, they'll be probably one of the weaker teams in the division. Never works like that. They're usually one of the most dangerous fixtures, aren't they, to meet a promoted side?
Our confidence and momentum are so important, as well as the
Oh, just a loose touch there from McNally, but we managed to get it clear. Actually on the counter-attack now. Martin gets the ball out to the left-hand side, and Solomon's running on the edge of the 18-yard box, but he's got players ahead of him he's got to beat. He's in the penalty area, tries to thread it through to a striker. It's cleared. Back to Nicholson. He floats it back in, headed away there by Macaulay. Picked up now by McNally. Under pressure from Henderson, he plays it back to Garner. And Guiseley can build from the back again, although Hamza Ben Sharif doesn't look too comfortable to me. And all he can do is put the ball out of play and out for a throw-in.
He didn't get the pass that he wanted from Scott Garner, Ben Sharif, and what he was doing there, he's trying to send the striker the wrong way by making a dummy move towards the ball. But the striker didn't fall for it, and in the end he had to just hook it as far forward as he could, but accept that he was going to concede a throw-in.
Nathan Fox and Macaulay just exchange passes in their own half. Again, this kind of patient build-up, just looking for an angle, looking for a ball forward that might cause Guiseley some problems. Use the pace or the power of Gash, or maybe the pace of Henderson up against Ben Sharif. They have it with Jarvis on that right-hand side. Cross coming in now from that right flank. It's a good ball into the box. Just flicked away at the near post by Scott Garner. Picked up on the left-hand side now by Fox. Gets the ball back in there towards Henderson. Henderson's with a bit of space, but McNally snuffs it out and then boots the ball out for a throw-in for Kings Lynn. But dangerous moments there for the Lions as Kings Lynn press and look for that equaliser.
Yeah, and good movement as well, actually, up front from Kings Lynn. I was watching Gash. He's sort of alternating between which defender he goes up against, and they're having to be quite alert, the Lions players, to make sure which one's coming towards them at any point in time. You said pace and quickly corrected it to power. Gash doesn't look like he's going to be a quick player.
Well, I think they're looking to use pace against. Well, Henderson, he seems to be quite a quick player against Ben Sharif and Scott Garner. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
but Michael Gash, I get your point.
Did you see John Parkin's retirement statement?
I don't know how you could segue to those two players at all.
Well,
Bulls are actually currently in the Kings Lynn half, and it's McNally who's collected. He's trying to work his way through a couple down this flank. He's done well, actually. Cantrell can cross, but this time he's not delivered the ball correctly, and it's out for a goal kick.
The statement, I think a lot of people have seen it today on Twitter from John Parkin. He said he's given it a lot of thought, but try as hard as he can, try as hard as he might. He can't do 100 metres in under 10 seconds anymore, so he's decided it's time to retire. And at no point, and then he goes on for a couple of pages, at no point does he, normally someone's going to tip you a knowing thing, and admit that they made a joke there, but he's committed to the joke and stuck with it, and all the more respect for that, I think.
Henderson now on the ball for Kings Lynn as they press this time, getting the ball in towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Forced back to the halfway line. Fryatt looks ahead of him for an option. Jamie Spencer snuffs that one out and then finds it up here towards Aaron Martin. Now Solomon, he's closed down, loses the ball. Just didn't release the ball quickly enough now. Solomon working back under pressure. Picked up though by Aaron Jones, who threads it forward. And again, it's well blocked out here by Nicholson. Plays a good ball over the top. Finds Kane Felix chasing down. Great sweeping from the goalkeeper, Alexander Street, who rushes out of his area and boots the ball into touch. Throw in for Guiseley midway through the Kings Lynn half.
Well, Street had to be really alert to that because there's nobody out on the pitch who's quicker over that distance than Kane Felix. And I to be honest, thought he was going to get there first, but the keeper did really well.
2-0 now to Curzon-Ashton. Just as George Sykes-Kenworthy has to be very cool in distributing the ball out to left back as he was closed down there by Adam Marriott. Curzon-Ashton 2-0 up against Bradford Park Avenue. Harrogate 0, Solihull Moors 1. We've lost in the opening game against Solihull Moors. Do you remember that was our first ever game we tried this thing on Guiseley Radio? They beat us 3-0.
I do. It was sort of started out exciting and ended up miserable, and
yeah,
that's obviously been true of many of the games that you and I have covered together, but particularly first games of the season.
But it didn't all start out exciting. The ball has been sprayed out to the right-hand side by Michael Clunan, and it's another one that starts an attack down the right-hand side, but this time the final delivery is a bit too long and out for a goal kick.
It was exciting to be doing a new thing, even though nobody was listening, and 7 or 8 years later on, it's there's still no one listening.
Yeah, still doing it, still no one listening.
Yeah. And we're still falling over each other to take the tap-in punchlines. Come on. Dear, oh dear.
Yeah. Nathan Blissett with the goal for Solihull Moors for their game against Harrogate. They came so close, didn't they, Solihull Moors? It's bonkers, the idea that they could have been a Football League side. You know, we talk about that moment there. We came at opening day. That was a team we thought, oh, we always beat Solihull. You know, and obviously we were hammered by them. Yeah, we were poor that season, that opening part of that season. We were a poor football team. We deserved everything we got. But, that club's turned around and come so close to being a Football League side. It's just bonkers to me.
Well, everyone wants to have a tilt at it, don't they? I mean, South Shields come here as a Glue League team who are full-time, spending significantly more money, multiples more money on wages than we are in the division above. And you sort of watch that and go, well, not everybody can make it to the big time, you know?
No, they can't, as we know. Alexandra Street has the ball from the back. He's laid it forward. Good opportunity here for Garner to make the interception, but he's lost out here. Gash plays a nice reverse ball in here. Henderson almost robs Cantrell. Picked up again then by Clunan as the Lions clear. And then Solomon works really back and wins the ball back off Henderson with some great effort and endeavour. Johnson loses out as he tries to dink the ball back in towards Solomon as his angles are cut down. And in the end, Kings Lynn win possession back. Guys are having to work hard here. Solomon with a chance to win the ball back once again, and he does. On the ground, is kicked on the ground and wins a free kick by being fouled by Ryan Jarvis, who protests, but the referee right on top of it. And worryingly, Solomon just on the ground for a moment there. This referee doesn't opt to bring out any cards or anything. Just checks on Aaron Solomon. Hopefully he's okay.
Jarvis is throwing his arms around in all sorts of anger, but truth be told, that isn't the first stiff challenge he's put in, and he was a bit fortunate not to have reason to be pulled up on it when he went in on Jamie Spencer about 10 minutes ago.
So 1-0, 36 minutes gone. Aaron Martin with the first goal for the Lions in this new season. Guys with a free kick in our own half. And again, all the players kind of congregate midway through the Kings Lynn half. This ball goes too far ahead of Hamza Ben Sharif and is claimed by Alexander Street on the edge of his 18-yard box. And Kings Lynn now build down this left-hand side here with Nathan Fox cutting infield, looking for an angle for a cross or a ball, but he's harried and hassled by Gabriel Johnson. Has to go back to Rory McCauley on the halfway line. Clunan square. This time Jarvis. He plays it down the right flank, and again a chance for a cross from that angle comes in. Solomon is adjudged or protested about. He delivered the ball. Ryan Fryatt who delivered the ball into the box. Nonetheless, it's gone out for a throw-in for Kings Lynn. And again, Jarvis just having a word with the referee, claiming that Fryatt was fouled. Didn't see an awful lot in it, but the Kings Lynn fans right in front of the incident are certainly aggravated. It'll be a throw-in now for the visitors about level with the penalty spot on the right flank. They take it. Ball returned back into the penalty area now. Chance here for a shooting opportunity to build up. It's blocked, but picked up now by Clunan. The captain plays it out to the left-hand side, where Gash will collect and return the ball in towards the edge of the 18-yard box and gets it back and gets a shot away, but this time he kind of curls that one high and wide, and he's not had his shooting boots on so far, and it's behind for a goal kick.
Well, the game's just coming up to a gentle simmer, isn't it? There's enough in the game, enough in the challenges that players are definitely aware that they're in a good battle. And there's a good amount of movement from both teams. You know, both sides relatively fresh. Chances at both ends. I mean, obviously we've had the majority of the chances, and Kings Lynn haven't done much with the ones they've had. In honesty, apart from that one that Nicholson had to hook off the line. But it's a good watch at the moment here, and in a sort of nice warm 20-ish degree afternoon. No breeze, no sun, just sort of pleasant, isn't it? And it's a good, pleasant game to be watching as well.
Ball on the head of Cantrell, who nods it down here to Nicholson. Solomon back here to Nicholson. The ball goes down the left-hand side looking for Felix. Now a nice one into the box, and it does find Martin. He's forced away from goal though and goes towards the corner flag. Looking to cross, gets it into the box. Johnson looking to get on the end of it. Martin again, another ball into the box, this time headed away on the 6-yard line. Picked up now by Solomon. Back to goal, lays it back here to Nicholson. Into the box again, headed away, this time by Macaulay. Nodded on by Garner, but collected now by Kings Lynn as they look to counter with Nathan Fox. Crossfield ball up towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Headed on by Gash, finds Henderson in the box, straight at the goalkeeper. Good reactions though from Sykes Kenworthy to palm the ball down and then claim it. But that was a really good move there, and perhaps Kings Lynn's best chance of the game. And in the end, Sykes Kenworthy was in the right place at the right time to prevent the ball going in. And it's still 1-0 to the Lions.
Yeah, smart bit of goalkeeping. Couldn't catch it, decided not to parry it away. Striker was following in, but Sykes Kenworthy took enough of the pace off the ball that just sort of dropped in front of him. And
the last action of the half. A half in which the Lions took the lead with Aaron Martin on 20 minutes. A super header after a great move. All started with Rhys McNally's run down the right-hand side. But Kings Lynn have offered plenty too, and might have got level. But for a good save from George Sykes Kenworthy to deny the visitors. But at half-time, it's advantage to Guiseley. 1-0 at the break. And that is all that we were hoping for from that first 45.
There's an awful lot to feel optimistic and positive about from that first 45 minutes. Everything that we were hoping would carry over into this first game of the new season. Movement, pace, energy, youthful sort of exuberance, willingness to make runs and get into chances, get into positions, and hope that they will create chances. Only the one of them actually finished and converted into a goal. And possibly, if there is a criticism at half-time, it would just be that we could have done with having put one more of those opportunities away. So 1-0 at the break. Lions with the best of the chances. Goalkeeper Street, probably the most influential player on the pitch in the first 45. So we're going to throw to our first half-time break of the season, and we're joined by Stray FM's Tom Fahini, who's now guesting on Guiseley Radio on one of his off days. Tom.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nick. There's no exclusivity with me, don't worry. So half-time then, and Guiseley have done okay, and it's been an okay game so far. Both sides really have been going for it. Both teams really have had chances as well. Nicholson having one cleared off the line. Guiseley really as well could have doubled their lead soon after taking the lead. But all in all, an interesting game so far, to say the least, and hopefully Guiseley can keep it going and keep going with the way that it's going in terms of the scoreline. If you are joining us, it is 1-0. 19 minutes in, Guiseley taking the lead. A fantastic cross by Rhys McNally finding Aaron Martin, the striker. Brighouse Town last season scored goals for fun. Can he do it again? Do you know what? Let's hope so. So anyway, we're going to have a look now at some of the scores that are coming through in the National League North. Now, what I will just say, first of all, the Bet Victor, and yes, I'm going to have to call it that, but we'll call it the Northern Premier League. That is not on this week. It's not on next week. 2-week break. I'm not 100% sure why they've decided to do it like that. It never seems to work, but they are pretty adamant that that's the way it will work in the end for them. So, having a look then at the biggest division in world football, the Vanarama National League North, and the scores that are coming through right now. I suppose the big game, some would argue, would be Altrincham against York City. Two teams that are both genuinely think they've got a chance of gaining promotion from this division. And at half-time, it is 1-1. York City have just equalised. Steve Drench, who is obviously in net for Alty, has just conceded his first goal of the season. York taking the lead with the way it's going. Blythe Spartans are a goal down against Gloucester City, which you would say is a very interesting score. Blythe Spartans last season, Alan Armstrong, an array of talent, an array of players this season. You could argue in terms of name, they've got a bigger name in Lee Clark, but he hasn't got the squad, he hasn't got the players, and they are now 1-0 down. And you'd say that they're one of the favourites for relegation because of the amount of talent they've had to get rid of and the amount of players they've got in from teams like Newcastle Benfield. No offence to them, but it has been very interesting. Half-time at Boston United, Chester FC. Both teams, again, another two teams that will be aiming for a top 7 finish. Jordan Fulis taking the lead for Boston United, but George Waring has just equalised with moments to go before half-time. So it's another game which is 1-1. Brackley Town, after that horrible news that they had during the off-season, that their clubhouse was demolished during a horrible fire. They've been raising money for that. They've just launched that campaign. You can go on their Twitter and you can have a look at that. And at half-time, it is 0-0 against them and Alfreton Town. Bradford Park Avenue, the team that we will go up against on Tuesday. Fingers crossed, it'll be the team that we go up against and beat. It is currently 2-0 to Curzon Ashton, and Curzon Ashton will be the team that we face on the last day of the season. And remember me saying this, only if I'm right, when we play Curzon Ashton, last game of the season, we will be crowned champions. Let's say that's the case. Let's say that's the case. I'm sorry, everyone. I've just been distracted. Colin Robertson is one number out from winning. I mean, if that doesn't sum up the Guiseley Radio way, then I don't know what will. Some of the other scores: Gateshead 0, Southport 0. Gateshead obviously weren't going to be in our league. They weren't going to be in the National League with all that had happened. They were offered a reprieve of being in our division. We go there on a cold, and it will be cold. It doesn't matter when we play them. It is always cold. That'll be a cold November Saturday. Hereford are 1-0 up against Spennymoor Town. And another battle of two teams that realistically want to be in them top 7 places. And I'm just going to have a quick look and see who scored for Hereford, because I saw Rowan Liebird was causing plenty of issues for them, and of course Rowan Liebird hasn't scored because, of course not. Yes, Dave there just said that he tweeted me to say that will be the case. So yes, that'll be fun. AFC Telford United are 1-0 up against Kettering Town, and this could be a surprise. Kidderminster Harriers 0, Leamington 1. Leamington, who got rid of their goalkeeper Tony Breeden a couple of days ago to an off-the-field incident which took place. And he'd been a legend there. It was a really interesting scenario there. So they are the scores at half-time. But remember, it doesn't matter because Guiseley are going to win the league. We've decided that now. So the laughter is obviously in agreement, and I but no, we're 1-0 up. So hey, who cares what else is happening elsewhere? But you know what? Because you've been so nice to me during the half-time, I will just go through the half-time scores in the National League, but one full-time score, Maidenhead United beating Stockport County 1-0, and you'd say that has to be seen as a little bit of a surprise. I am going to, again, just have a look, because I'm almost convinced Jake Cassidy scored in that game, but I don't know why I'm convinced. I just feel like that would happen, so I will just have a look. And it was Jake Cassidy with the goal. He scored the goal. It was the battle of ex-Guiseley strikers, Frank Mulhern and Jake Cassidy, and Cassidy with the goal in that game. So at half-time elsewhere, Aldershot 0, Fylde 1, Barnet 0, Yeovil 0, Chesterfield 0, Dover 0, Chorley 0, Bromley 0, Woking a 1-0 up against Dagon Red. Notts County are a goal down away at Eastleigh. Ebbsfleet 1, FC Halifax Town 1. FC Halifax Town taking the lead after 11 minutes. A red card as well for Eastleigh. We'll see, for Ebbsfleet, we'll see how that goes. Harrogate Town are a goal down against Solihull Moors. Hartlepool 1, Sutton United 2. Torquay 0, Borehamwood 0, Wrexham 0, Barrow 1. That would be a massive surprise if it happened. We will see if that is the case. So, half-time, we're 1-0 up. Aaron Martin with the goal. I'll just go through the bench. Lee Shaw, Lloyd Ellinson, Dylan Barkers, Kennedy Diggy, Paul Clayton. Lloyd Ellinson, we announced the signing at midday. He's a former Huddersfield Town youth keeper. He made one appearance for Huddersfield Town. He was also in net for FC United 2 seasons ago. He was named their player of the season last season. It all went a bit wrong for FC United in general. He left. He went to Nantwich Town on loan. Played 10 games for them. Was part of their team that tried to get into the playoffs and did, but then weren't able to make it. So, all in all, not a bad signing for Guiseley, but George Sykes-Kenworthy, I think he'll be listening to this, probably on the repeat, let's hope he listens, and he'll be saying, hang on, I've had a pretty good half. I made a really good save at home. We've got some really tough games coming up. Remember, there's no Premier League action. There is some EF...
Because those are the players they have. So
Told now that you don't need to play the ball forward and hence have 2 players from kick-off. Other rule changes this summer have included the change to goal kicks. It doesn't have to leave the edge of the area before it comes live.
I hadn't read that. That's interesting.
Free kick has been conceded by the Lions in left-back position, so early doors, a free kick to the visitors, who have the time just to try and settle with the swap, the change that they've made. Macaulay off and Richards on. And it's a free kick that Alexandra Street, who had an excellent first half, takes and gets a good delivery into the box. A bit of danger here as Garner looked like he'd been turned by Marriott, but the ball didn't fall kindly for Marriott, and Guiseley clear. And now there's one back into the box, and George Sykes-Kenworthy has to be swiftly off his line to claim at the edge of the area, as he was closed down. And he looks for an option as he looks to throw the ball out. Holds on to it a little longer. Thanks CDP just for letting us know we're coming through loud and clear. Or loud. Chest down now by Henderson. Flick away by Clunan. Doesn't connect with it right, and Cantrell takes over. Cantrell had the options to stay in under-23s football, but opted instead to come here, play men's football, as he says. Cantrell now gets the ball here from Brad Nicholson. Cantrell using his strength up against Henderson, who for a moment looked to me as if he held the ball in both his legs, which I think is an obstruction offence normally. I was surprised actually nothing was kind of brought about from that. Well, talking of rules,
he certainly had. Yeah, he certainly had him under pressure. Cantrell, he go darting left and right behind him, and he was just trying to Henderson just trying to see the ball out for the goal kick and shepherd it out, and Cantrell not making it easy. And that I like that sort of energy. You know, maybe not since. I don't know if it's all the way back to Adam Boys, but it feels like it's a while since we've seen that sort of pressing energy there on the line.
That's a good shout, that. Felix is trying to close down up front. Challenge comes in from Spencer. Henderson collects, lays it back. Again, they're holding onto the ball but being pressed. The substitute goes to ground as Cantrell chases after him. Picked up now by Jarvis. Spread around to the right-hand side as Kings Lynn look to advance, and they do well here. Jones getting a cross in that takes a wicked deflection off Solomon. And the ball has gone out, and it is going to be a corner. Despite George Sykes-Kenworthy's best efforts, couldn't keep it in play. It's going to be a corner to Kings Lynn. And the Lions now have some defensive work to do.
That's one of the stranger ways to concede a corner you'll see. It was an awful long way further forward than the edge of the area, so it really was an unlucky deflection.
There's lots of lime green shirts in the box. This one floats in towards the penalty spot, headed away by Garner, but only as far as Aaron Jones. This time Henderson dinks it out towards the corner kick taker, Clunan, who lays a nice one down the flank for Jones, who'll cross into the box and almost turned in by Arabian Marriott, who connects with the ball in the edge of the 6-yard box. And it was going into the bottom right-hand corner, but for a very smart foot from George Sykes-Kenworthy, just to tip it round the upright, and it's a corner to Kings Lynn.
Yeah, he did well. The keeper had to be very quick with getting that foot out there. Good decision-making.
So another chance here for Kings Lynn to press. The corner comes into the box, claimed well by the goalkeeper on the edge of the 6-yard box. That'll do his confidence no end of good. A really good claim under pressure to ease the pressure on the Lions. 49 minutes gone, and Guiseley still lead by a 1-0.
The longer the game goes on at 1-0, of course, the more nervous you and I will get, and probably most of the people in the ground here as well. But next goal, if there is another goal in the game, will be really important.
Now Johnson has bundled over Richards inside the centre circle. It's going to be a free kick to Kings Lynn. And Henderson takes this one short here into the feet of Jones. Jones tries to get past Solomon, but Solomon's onto him. And the ball's knocked out for a throw-in. Taken short here by Aaron Jones. Jones looking for an angle to cut in field, and he does, and he finds Michael Gash. Now into the feet of Jordan Richards, who gets the ball back just on the edge of the centre circle, looking for passes forward, slowly, patiently building up, just trying to tease the Lions out of their positions. But it's good disciplined defending so far. Henderson gets a touch to keep the ball live for Kings Lynn as Guiseley press. In the end, forced all the way back into their own half, but they can try a longer ball this time. Brad Nicholson cuts that one out. Solomon collects. Under pressure, he's got 2 players on him. Plays it into Nicholson, played down that left-hand side. Felix with the chase on, has the opportunity to win the ball in the foot race. Taps it off the feet of Ryan Fryer and earns Guiseley a corner. And that was really good work there from Solomon. Nicholson as well with the ball forward. Oh. And there's absolute confusion because a goal kick is the result, but that's frankly, it's just a bad error on the part of the officials. They've got that all ends up wrong. And it's a goal kick, and we start with pressure now on the Guiseley goal, and up the other end, Adam Marriott almost squeezes in between Scott Garner and the goalkeeper, but thankfully George Sykes-Kenworthy was commanding of his area and claimed the ball.
Well, that was all a bit funny, that, wasn't it? Because all 22 players thought it was a Guiseley corner. So could have just let them get on with it.
Come on, Guiseley!
Thankfully, nothing too bad came of it from us. George Sykes-Kenworthy a lot more involved so far than he was in the first half. But so far he's acquitting himself very well.
More pressure on the Lions, actually, in this opening period. Kings Lynn are growing more and more into the game, I'd say, in the second half. Solomon now gets a nice touch on it, gives it to George Cantrell, who's under pressure himself, plays the ball nicely out here to Spencer. He gets there ahead of Henderson and plays it out to the right-hand side. McNally now rather loses possession of the ball easily to Richards. Spencer plays it forward as he collects the loose pass, and it's up into the Kings Lynn half, but not under any controlled circumstances. McNally with a header up in the air, up to Felix. He flicks it on towards Martin, kind of reverse of what you'd normally expect to see happen. And then it's returned into the Lions half. Spencer can take over. And he finds Solomon, who comes down the left-hand side, looking for options. plays it back instead to Nicholson. Nicholson's got Martin ahead of him. Solomon tries to cut in field. Still under pressure. Finds Cantrell. Cantrell plays a good ball over the right-hand side in towards McNally on the overlap. He's pressurised and forced back, but still, guys, he keep it going. Solomon dinks a little ball into the box. It almost floats into the path of Gabriel Johnson, but just over him and through to the goalkeeper, Alexander Street. 52 minutes gone, 1-0 to the Lions.
That's back to more of what we saw in the first half, actually, and having gone through that period of pressure in the first 6 or 7 minutes of the second half, it's good to see the Lions coming forward again.
Kidderminster 1, Telford 1. An equaliser there for Kidderminster Harriers. Of course, they were our last Vanarama National North game where we won. Final game of last season. Not many players left on the field that were participating in that one.
No.
Total change round here in the pre-season. Kings Lynn now trying to build once again. Henderson on the ball, looking lively, working towards the edge of the 18-yard box, has just cut infield really well, as evading 3 or 4 defenders in doing so. Richards collects the loose ball on the left-hand side. He's under pressure, plays it over the top. It's a nicely flighted ball. It's flicked in there towards Gash, who's flick on, looking for Henderson, is intercepted by Sykes Kenworthy. And the Guiseley keeper holds on to the ball in his shocking pink kit. Floated out by Solomon from the throw-in. And into Nicholson. Solomon inside his own half, onto the centre circle now. Dinks the ball over the top. Good chase on here for Martin. Martin gives it here to Felix. Felix shoots too central with the drive straight into the hands of the goalkeeper, but a good move and a lovely ball from Aram Solomon as well to boot.
Well, it does look like we have a genuine cutting edge. We've got power and mobility up front, and Aaron Martin, to be honest, has both of them, which is quite rare to see. I was sort of waiting to see him and Gabriel Johnson. I wasn't convinced that, you know, until seeing them in a league game, that they really were, you know, the real deal, because they're stepping up a bit, aren't they, from coming from Brighouse. And you want to see whether they really do have what it takes to step up. But so far, they both look like good players.
Ball into the Guiseley area, but there's an uncontested ball for George Sykes Kenworthy to claim. It's funny that Marriott just goes onto his body. Sorry there, Nick.
So I was just going to pick up on your point about the changing of the squad. I was sort of thinking, we didn't have a cutting edge, did we, last year? We didn't have pace and power up front, as we're watching Aaron Martin again.
And he just takes the ball down ever so well there. Plays it back into the feet now of Aram Solomon. Nicholson on the overlap. Gives him the option. Nicholson floats it in now in towards Kane Felix. Headed away, though, before he can get it. Now the counter-attack could be on here. The Lions have to be alive to this danger. It's picked up now by Marriott. Marriott cuts infield. He's got 6 around him. Plays it through in to find Henderson. But Guiseley eventually claim it, and it's taken away. Garner into Solomon, but Solomon loses the flight of the ball. Rather cheaply concedes possession. Now it's picked up here by Kings Lynn. On the right-hand side, Jones. It's taking a deflection into the box, helped away by Ben Sharif. And it's chase on now. Felix can't get past his man. In the end, it's a throw-in to Kings Lynn. Just a couple of quick goal updates. Beck scored for Harrogate. Harrogate now leading Solihull Moors 2-1. York leading Altrincham 2-1. And Curzon Ashton have a third against Bradford Park Avenue 3-0 there.
The other thing I was going to say about the change in the squad was we knew we needed strikers and something up front. But if you told me at the end of last season that we'd have come back without any of the 3 of Hatfield, Purver and Kingsley James, I wouldn't have believed you, because you would have thought that we would have wanted to have held on to, you know, probably 2 of those 3. And so that's why it feels so different, I think, today, is the engine room of the team has completely changed as well. It wasn't just cutting out some dead wood, you know, people who were solid but not spectacular. You know, some of the regular first teamers who you thought you'd expect to see back again next year have gone as well. Very impressed with the replacements so far, though. So let's see how we do in the rest of this game and whether it's worth 3 points to us.
Oh, now the ball just opens up here for Kings Lynn as they move down the right-hand side. Jones has into the penalty area, lays it back. Snuffed out by Spencer. Not sure if that's gone out for a corner or a throw. It's right down by the corner flag and high up in the air beyond our line of sight.
I was going to say, I'm not sure it's landed yet, has it?
It was a real launch when Jack Dyche has scored for Hyde in a pre-season friendly for them against Frickley. Is it pre-season friendly? It might even be a game. I'm not sure, actually.
So they've listed him as a striker, haven't they, on their website?
Talking of striking options. Guiseley now having to defend as Kings then get the ball in towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Then a long ball forward, and Kane Felix is always looking to get off the shoulder of Chris Smith, the centre-half. As the ball went forward, the centre-half, though, Smith, he managed to deal with it well enough. Fryatt back to Street. And now Smith will start building out from the back as Kingston want Guiseley to attack and want us to create the space behind you, Phil. And a good tackle comes in here from Ben Sharif, but he doesn't hold on to the ball for Guiseley, and it's picked up now by Fryatt, picked up now by Clunan on the right-hand side, Aaron Jones. Again, just triangular passes, but no real forward momentum. It's a bit like watching Lions last season on the attack at the moment. That said, got moments where they can break down this defence. Ball out to the right-hand side by Richards is loose. It's picked up here by McNally, who's done really well. Punts the ball forward in a real foot race here down that right-hand side. Reese up against Richards inside the penalty area. Needs to find a pass now. Plays it out here, nice one, towards Spencer. Spencer, edge of the area, takes a shot. In the net it goes. The goalkeeper was flat-footed. Guiseley had the second. McNally laid it back. Spencer hit it. It didn't seem to hit it all that cleanly, but Guiseley have what counts. The second goal. It's Guiseley 2, Kings Lynn 0.
Well, there you go, Colin. Football's easy, isn't it? Just got to get forward, and then you just got to play it in field to somebody within shooting distance of goal, and then he's just got to pop it in the far corner. That's all you have to do. I mean, they honestly, they didn't look even like they'd played that move perfectly. It didn't even look like he'd timed his shot perfectly. There it goes in the far corner, 2-0.
It was a strange goal, wasn't it? I mean, I never thought for a minute it was going in when he left his foot. It seemed to bobble. It seemed to take a slow momentum towards a goal, but it completely flat-footed Alexander Street, didn't it?
Well, maybe Street wasn't expecting him to shoot, so McNally had made all that ground down the right, but then sort of lost the momentum while he was deciding what to do with who to pick the pass out to, and he played it to Spencer on the edge of the area, who took a couple of steps to his right, but needed to shoot on his right across to the left. By that stage, he had defenders in front of him, and he thought, well, he's probably going to have to stop and look around and pick out another pass, and the best moments of this move have probably gone, and he just wrapped his foot around it and popped it diagonally into the bottom far corner.
Guys, he's trying to play out from the back, being pressed by Henderson now. It's a long one cleared over the top here. Felix is chasing, he's going to get there ahead of the goalkeeper. He just doesn't strike it cleanly on the volley. He'd managed to beat the back line with his pace. He'd made up an awful lot of distance to get into the penalty area. The ball coming over his shoulder, high in the sky. Difficult chance for him. He couldn't connect cleanly with it. But another option there for the Lions on display there. But this time Kane Felix just not quite able to complete the job that he'd started so well.
Did he have time to bring it down? I wonder if he might have, He had to really scrape at it with his left foot, and you could tell he wasn't confident, but he was trying to swing his left leg through as it was coming down over his shoulder, and that is very hard to time correctly, and he honestly wasn't particularly close to what he was trying to do.
Solomon has just been bundled over right in front of us. A clattering challenge as he just poked the ball between the legs of Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones just wanted to make sure he wasn't making any further distance. It doesn't look like the referee, Paul Brown, is going to pull out a card to punish Jones any further. Solomon, thankfully, is okay. He's up on his feet.
Well, Solomon wanted that, actually. He couldn't believe his luck that someone was going to commit such an obvious obstruction on him there. And because there was another defender in behind. He had two men to beat Solomon. So it was a stupid decision, really, by the fullback to come in and clatter him full body.
Spencer plays the ball into the box. It's headed on by Ben Sharif. Just looked like it was going to fall on the edge of the 6-yard box. But in the end, Street claims. Darlington has scored have scored a goal back against Farsley, so it's 3-1 there. Brackley 1-0 up against Alfreton. One of the favourites, Brackley, you'd think again. Torquay beating Boreham Wood in the National just reminds me of the distances and the trips we don't have to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I was saying to Chris at half time, you know, the more local teams we have around us, the better, really. So, hesitant to say it, but come back Halifax, stay here York, you know, stay here Bradford Park Avenue and Farsley, bring back Harrogate, you know, then we'd have a great division, wouldn't we?
Ball forward now. Guiseley having to defend as Kings Lynn need to get a goal back in this game. Clunan lays it in towards the edge of the D. Picked up, but robbed by Solomon, who takes the ball away from his man excellently. Keeps on going down this left-hand side until he just gets too much on the ball and knocks it out. But the applause for the defensive work, the tenacity, the little bit of skill shown there from Aram Solomon. Warmly recognised by the home crowd here.
Well, he has that he wants to show, doesn't he? He has some tricks and some skills, but you've got to wait for the game to open up a little bit. And it's something Marcus and Russ talked to us a lot about in the interviews last season. You have to earn the right to play that sort of football. You have to get yourself physically into the game first and sort of impose your shape and the way that you want to play. And then as the game goes on, you'll get a chance to show some of your tricks and skills. And it's good fun to watch, isn't it?
Gash on the ball now. He's won it on the left-hand side. He's played it infield here. It's picked up by Jarvis. Jarvis square into the feet of Jones. Laid back actually by Clunan. Goes back to the halfway line. And then it's floated up towards the edge of the 18-yard box again. Gash again shouting for a free kick. Again, referee, no interest. Quite rightly, actually. There should be no interest. Martin wins the header as it's cleared away. Kane Felix has got a bit of a battle on. He wins the header just ahead of Ryan Fryatt. Sorry, Fryatt seems to have won that header. And we're going to have a substitute now as Guiseley get a throw on the left-hand side. And the referee just holds play up. It's going to be Sam Kelly coming off. Ryan Jarvis coming off and Sam Kelly to replace him.
So another change in midfield. Both the 6 and the 8 who started the game have gone off, and that's got to be a reasonable vote of confidence by the opposition in how Guiseley's midfield have played today. We've just been joined by a Westbourne fan who's just started listening a few moments ago, and he wanted to know who scored. Aaron Martin scored in the first half on about 20 minutes, and then Jamie Spencer about 10 minutes ago scored the second. Just as we'd had to weather a bit of storm of pressure after half time, Kings Lynn had come out strongly, and the second goal is a huge relief, hasn't it?
Solomon having a good time of it now at the moment. He's under pressure. He's going to earn Guiseley a free kick, surely. Wins the ball down that left-hand side, picks it up in his legs. Then he's tripped over off the ball. Protest, but the referee's letting a lot go this afternoon. He wasn't going to win that. There's about 2 or 3 different fouls in there.
Yeah, there were.
One by Solomon. And then another player's been bundled over. Is it Spencer who's just been pushed over? Or they're having a bit of a laugh? They're just having a chuckle this time. They're just saying they were just accidental coming together.
Well, we don't know Solomon well enough to know his temperament. If he's doing all this to wind up the opposition, then great. As long as he's not himself getting wound up, then this is great fun.
Long throw into the box. Flicked on by Ben Sharif. It's headed away. It's going to go out for... I was going to say going to go out for a corner, but you can never tell, actually, from early decisions. Defender headed it out cleanly for a corner. A referee agrees.
You know, when we've had players, I guess Wayne Brooksby's one who had all the tricks, but he never himself actually really got wound up and involved. Solomon's a young lad, so I'm not certain yet that he's not going to throw an arm at someone if they keep fouling him.
Corner goes into the near post from Solomon, not cleared brilliantly, but then eventually worked away by the substitute. And then Felix with a good challenge. He's muscled off the ball though, Felix, despite putting in quite a firm tackle himself. And now it's a bit of a tussle kicking off here, as I think there's a bit of a disagreement involving Aaron Martin on that far side. Are coming together. Referee just going to be speaking to Aaron Martin, and don't think he's speaking to anyone else. But Scott Garner's been called up to speak to the referee, and then been told to go away. So players being spoken to here, Nick. What do you make of it?
Well, I think Kane Felix was obviously fouled by Sam Kelly, and then essentially Aaron Martin's gone over to fight Kane Felix's corner with Kelly and made it worse rather than better. So we're back underway now, and no one in the book yet. But it has got something about it. The way he's refereed it has meant that it has allowed to come to a simmer. It's never really boiled over. It's more it's sort of fun at this point. And it's just good competitive football. It's a good palate cleanser after watching all those friendlies, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Palate cleanser. What a great phrase for this game. Description.
Yeah, do you know what? In more than one way, because at the moment we're winning 2-0, and isn't that blooming nice?
Yeah. Felix is chasing. Jordan Burrows scored for York. They've got a third against Altrincham, 3-1. And Solihull Moors, I keep mixing my words up. Solihull.
No.
No, I'm not going there. Solihull Moors have got an equaliser. Spencer's robbed the defender, goes through to the goal, onto the edge of the 18-yard box, shoots! A third! Guiseley have a third! A defensive lapse from Kings Lynn. Spencer robs possession, goes through to the 18-yard box, fires the ball coolly under the goalkeeper Alexander Street. It is now Guiseley 3, Kings Lynn 0.
Well, it really is simple. Give it to Jamie Spencer on the outside right-hand edge of the area. Give him a second to pick where he wants to put it, and he'll just pop it in the back of the net. That's all we have to do. New tactic. Wow.
Drinks break. No idea how we do in the Ashes. Oh, can't tell. Can't distract myself yet. 3-0. And the Lions are doing so well at the moment. 3-0 up here in the opening game of the season. More than we could have hoped for, I think, so far. Kings Lynn have offered plenty. This isn't, a weak. Certainly doesn't strike me as being, a weak team that's playing above their station. I think this is a team that's a competitive National North team as well that we're currently winning 3-0 against. There's plenty yet to go in this game. And matches can turn, and Kings Lynn showing that possession and pressure again. Spencer lunging in, just trying to win the ball back as the pace of Kelly got past him. But there's a free kick 10 yards up from the edge of the D, and this is a pretty dangerous one.
The only thing going in its favour is that it's very central, but it was more good harrying and chasing by Spencer, but and he didn't actually take the player down, and he did make contact with the ball. He did actually win the ball, but he's slid in from behind at full speed, and the referees decided that's where he draws the line. Although there was, there wasn't actually anything much in it. To be honest, 10 years ago, you'd have said that was a perfectly timed challenge. Yeah.
Free kick then, and it's taken it central. It goes through and bounces off a Guiseley player. It's going to go out for a throw into Kings Lynn, about level with a penalty spot. Pressure now on. Yeah,
just got to keep our heads now, because a clean sheet would be a really nice way to round this game off.
Thanks, Keith Walker. He's just keeping me up to date with the Ashes. Aussies are 42 for 2.
Wow.
Go on. 42 for 2.
It's all coming together, isn't it?
What a great afternoon. Now, it's picked up here by Kings Lynn, trying to spoil the party a bit here with a bit of movement down this left-hand side. The ball into the box. It's cleared by Nicholson, but Guiseley still encamped in the Lions' half. Floated in by Jones up towards the penalty spot, headed towards goal, but not really with any conviction. Cleared again, but picked up again by Henderson. And then good work from Martin just to hassle and harry, but they still win possession. Now Spencer wins the ball back. He's fouled, but Solomon has the advantage. He's got Martin to the right. Martin's got Felix clear. Felix, edge of the area, goes through. Goes through the goalkeeper who comes out to block. He air shots it and completely misses it. And it goes out for a goal kick. And in a more serious moment in the game, that might have been met with groans. It was more met with chuckles. But that really should have been Guiseley winning fourth goal. Instead, Felix will probably not really want to watch that back on the video after this game. And
that's a shame, because it was an absolutely beautiful move. From from the intervention of Spencer in midfield. He was fouled in the process. Solomon had Martin ahead to the right and Felix to the left, and they arranged themselves in a triangle, all running at exactly the right pace. So he picked out Martin to the right, who reversed it to Felix, had one-on-one with the keeper. He wanted to go round the keeper, took his time, and we're learning today that Kane Felix is not left-footed, and he really struggled to time that and span himself, I think, nearly 360 degrees on the spot with the momentum he was hoping to use on his left-footed shot.
Ball now with Kings Lynn trying to get back into this, play the ball in towards the penalty area. It's over, hit by Michael Clunan, and Gash can't keep it in play, and so it's behind for a goal kick.
But we needed that move, because it's not through lack of application. It's not through luck that Kings Lynn haven't scored yet in this game and haven't had that many chances. And there was just a few gaps appearing in the Guiseley defence after that third goal. So good to have another chance, and just a reminder that we've got to stay compact. We've got to keep working hard. There'll be a little element of them wanting to conserve a bit of energy because they know they've got to play again on Tuesday and again on Saturday after that. But it would be nice not to concede in the final 20 minutes of this game.
Haven't you 4-0 down, by the way?
Haven't you
4-0
down?
Yeah, Kers and Ashton as well. It'll be interesting. You just don't know what the relative strengths are of different teams after their recruitment.
No,
Kingsley James
not.
went there, didn't he? It's Curzon.
Still,
who knows what that actually means? But 4-0 is not a good start to the season.
On the basis of the, I was going to say, on the basis of the league table last year, that's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah. Now, Guiseley trying to win the ball down the right-hand side. Looks like there's a sub coming. We'll have to keep an eye on that. AD had his board in his hand and still trying to work out the numbers, I think, on the bench. So we might see a change for the Lions. Solomon chasing down at the moment, trying to win the ball back. Sorry, Nick.
Well, it's Lee Shaw who's stripped down and ready to come on, and I really want to see him because even the fans of the club he's come from, where he struggled, even they say he's an exciting player.
Felix, maybe?
Could be. Yeah, I mean, I think Shaw will want to play up front. So Felix would be a good option, sort of replacing like for like. We don't know how fit all of our own players are, of course. Maybe Aaron Martin wants 20 minutes off. Maybe one of the wingers.
Now Solomon is brought down again this time. I think it's about time a card come up, to be honest. I think it's probably about that sort of period of the match. But to be fair, Marriott put his hands up straight away. Referee's not having any of it. I think he's just going to have a word. No. And so there is that change.
Well, you called it. It is Kane Felix coming off, and he's done an awful lot of work up there today. He's a relatively recent convert to playing through the middle, and he's had a lot of opportunities on the shoulder of the last defender to get him behind and cause all sorts of worries for the visitors. And I imagine Lee Shaw, who comes on now to make his debut, he'll be wanting to do some of the same. He'll be wanting to, I hear he's quick, and he looks, he's sort of just about the same height as Kane Felix, maybe a teeny bit taller, but he looks like he's going to be a quick sort of player, and he's going to go and play there through the middle, trying to get on the ball now in the area. I'm interested to see.
And so we are indeed back underway. Ball high in the air and foxing several people. It looks like Gash was probably committing a foul in that, but the referee's allowed play to go on. Spencer winning it in midfield until he's dispossessed. Johnson trying to take the ball off the feet of Jordan Richards, the Kings Lynn substitute. And Gloucester 2-0 up now against Blythe Spartans. And Kidderminster now beating Leamington 2-1. Hereford losing 2-1 at home to Spennymoor as well. So some interesting starting results to this season. A lot of people obviously fancied Gloucester to struggle this year, but proven that's not the case. Blythe might, of course.
I'd say that this is a nice substitution actually, because Lee Shaw will be a little bit wary coming to a new club when he's made it absolutely clear he wants to play up front, and Gabriel Johnson has put in a lot of yards. Aaron Solomon's getting kicked around, we wouldn't have been surprised to see one of those withdrawn and saved for Tuesday. But it would just set Shaw off on the wrong foot, wouldn't it, to bring him in and then give him his debut out wide. So I like what they've done here, and obviously Kane Felix is probably not going to score a hat-trick today. So, it's fine for him to go and chill out. He's actually played really well, and I hope he doesn't dwell on those 2 air shots he's had.
He's played very well. He's been a real thorn, hasn't he, with his pace?
Yeah.
Substitution there for Kings Lynn. Chris Henderson, who's actually impressed me. He's gone off. Was replaced by Ryan Hawkins. Now Guiseley moving the ball down the left-hand side. Brad Nicholson takes it down, a raking crossfield ball well. Runs in field now towards the edge of the D. Still going. He dinks the ball through, and the flag goes up because Aaron Martin was just a margin offside. Play hasn't stopped yet, and it was beautifully put into the net there by Lee Shaw. It was in flight of the whistle. He absolutely dinked the ball over the goal.
We've learned what we needed to, as the sound should be just back on now. We've learned what we needed to there, which is that Lee Shaw can definitely finish. Just a shame that the play had already officially stopped.
It was a heck of a finish, wasn't it? So Kings Lynn still trailing by 3-0. Come up to the halfway line and look for options. 12 minutes to go. Guiseley in a great position in this game. The ball in the centre circle, though, with the substitute. Which is Sam Kelly, who works his way down and then is tripped or clipped by McNally, who in turn hurts himself. Equaliser there for Hereford, by the way. They've scored to level things up against Spennymoor. And a goal back for Blythe against Gloucester. This is a free kick that's to the left-hand side of the D. 10 yards up. Pretty dangerous position, this, isn't it? Actually.
It certainly is. It's almost exactly the same distance as the last one they took, but this time off of centre. So this will suit somebody who's confident shooting on the right foot.
Gash stands over. Is that Clunan as well, who's standing over? Looking to take this one. And it's Gash. He drills that one in from distance, but it's not very fast, and it's comfortable for the goalkeeper to claim. Thanks, Kenworthy.
We are going to see another change, I think, before the game's out. Kennedy Diggy is getting ready to come on. He, of course, one of the few players who is here from leftover from last season. He was a very late addition to the squad in the final weeks of the previous campaign. And it'll be interesting to see. Well, he's just actually put his bib back on, but he looked like he was about to come on. He's certainly got his shirt on now.
Well, we'll just wait and see if the substitution is going to happen yet. 10 minutes to go. It's not long to make your mark. Spencer will want to be in good fettle for Tuesday's game, won't he, against Bradford Park Avenue?
Well, I was going to say there's a little element of...
Oh, a nicely quickly taken free kick. It's released Lee Shaw, but he just doesn't get there ahead of the goalkeeper, who was alive to the danger. He came out of his area very quickly, just off his line rather, and claimed it just at his feet. But a very smart idea, that.
It was, and Streets had a really good game, actually, for saying he's conceded 3 goals. He's been very good in those sort of situations. I was going to say, they obviously cram a lot of games into August, always in the fixture list, and it's rare to be in a position of being 3-0 up with a little bit of the game left, and having the chance to just withdraw 1 or 2 players and give a couple of others their first appearances. So we'll see if Ross and Marcus want to do that or not.
We'll see if Aaron Martin off for Clayton, maybe. Diggy on.
Absolutely no harm in doing that, from my point of view. The game's
won, isn't it? You'd hope.
It is, yeah, it is.
Balls here for Jones. I'm getting absolute ribbing for saying that now. How dare you? It's not pessimistic enough. Kings Lynn struggling to make some headway, although they have lots of possession here. They now do. On towards the edge of the area. It opens up a bit. Ball's played in here. Shot comes in. Takes a deflection. Still in with the home side. Marriott tries to dink it over Ben Sharif. Gets it caught on the chest as a tame claim for a handball, but it's behind for a corner. This is just goes to show they've got the invention, haven't they, the visitors, to finally work their way through, despite the fact we've been very rich, very solid at the back, I think, and worked hard to snuff out the angles.
They've carried a threat all game.
Cross comes into the box, and out comes George Sykes-Kenworth. He drops it, and it's hoofed clear. It was a young goalkeeper's mistake, but now Guiseley could counter-attack, and now Lee Shaw is hacked down there by Nathan Fox, and he surely will go in the book to prevent the counter-attack there. So Shaw is up, and if Fox doesn't go in the book, I'd be astounded yet. The flag card is out, the first card of the afternoon. And a substitute is going to happen, but Eddie Towers hasn't going to help anyone understand who it is that is going to be substituted, because the scoreboard hasn't showed the right player. It's indeed Jamie Spencer.
He essentially, at the first attempt, held up a board showing 14 minutes of added time, 10 minutes early. But instead, we're seeing the withdrawal of 2 goals. Scoring Jamie Spencer, what a brilliant debut, and they've put a lot of faith in him. He's a big signing, you know. With the departure of the 3 established central midfielders, he was the big established, you know, prime of his non-league career central midfielder who was brought in over the summer, and what a fantastic introduction he's made to the Nethermore crowd before heading back over to the Horsefall on Tuesday.
Now the ball up here, Martin gets the touch on, Shaw's chasing after it, and he again puts the ball in the back of the net, but the free kick has already been given. He seemed to possibly clip Ryan Fryatt on the back. I think he just caught his heels as he was running through, so the free kick, the right decision. 3-0.
Okay, I challenge you, most number of disallowed goals scored on debut.
Oh yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
Especially as a substitute.
He's on a hat-trick. Could be on a perfect hat-trick. Did he finish the other one with his left?
I think he did, you know. So if he's slightly offside and heads one in the last 5 minutes.
The ball forward from Solomon. Kept in play there by Shaw. No, he didn't. The flag goes up. He certainly showed lots of running, though, didn't he, there, to try and win it.
He looks like an interesting player, doesn't he?
So,
gosh, we've got options.
I know, it's strange, isn't it? Kennedy Diggy, one of the players I thought was going to really come on this season, especially after a good, solid end-of-season spell. Oh, and now a loose pass has found Aaron Martin. He's not running with the same conviction to attack this Kings Lynn goal. He's just going to launch it down the left-hand side. Just hold to possession a bit here. Gabriel Johnson flicks a lovely little ball into the penalty area. Just a bit too much for Lee Shaw to spin on. The flag goes up. Shaw's offside. Free kick to the visitors. Kings then will take it on the edge of the 18-yard box. Still Guiseley 3, Kings Lynn 0. And Curzon Ashton have scored a 5th against Bradford Park Avenue. It's Curzon Ashton 5, Bradford Park Avenue 0.
Well, either Curzon Ashton are twice the team they were last season, or one of those has gone forward and the other has gone backward.
There's trouble at the Horsefall, possibly. There's no trouble here, though, for Cantrell. He's just won the ball back. He's doing very well this afternoon. Be difficult to pick a man of the match out of the team. There's been so many good performances. And there's no foul. Oh, it looked like Cantrell was fouled, but the whistle hadn't gone. The ball's gone out to the right-hand side now, and in fact it's Kings Lynn who can come forward here with Aaron Jones. He cuts infield. Solomon goes to engage him, but Jones keeps going infield and eventually lays it out to the left-hand side. It's picked up now by Clunan. Clunan plays it in, and a good spin on the ball by the substitute, gets the ball away. Eventually it's hoofed clear. Ryan Hawkins, that is, who couldn't quite get a shooting chance. And now Kings then collect possession inside their own half and go long again. Ben Sharif heads clear. Flag goes up anyway. Free kick to Guiseley. 3-0 to Guiseley, 4 minutes to go.
Well, we're in danger of this being the perfect afternoon, aren't we? Got any number of players, as you say, who would have been perfectly plausible picks for man of the match, and then it goes to Aaron Martin, scorer of that first goal on debut, 20 minutes in, before another debutant scored 2. I would have accepted Jamie Spencer as man of the match as well. I would have accepted George Cantrell. I would have accepted Solomon, Johnson. Probably Felix ruled himself out just with a couple of key moments in the game, but he had a fantastic game and carried a real threat all the way through.
I was just going to say, Dave's just voiced what I thought is, what does Jamie Spencer probably have to do to get out of the match? It's been phenomenal, scored 2 goals.
If he scores 2 on Tuesday, I think we'll give him it then.
3 minutes to go. Kings Lynn chasing everything they can now to just maybe get a first goal of the season. Good run in field from Marriott. It's headed away, picked up by Solomon towards Shaw, but just a couple of yards too far in front of him for Shaw to win. Now the substitute, Hawkins, shows some good footwork. And a blasted clearance from Ben Sharif against Hawkins. And the ball's out of play for a Guiseley throw in left back position.
I'd slightly forgotten how tall Diggy was, because he's towering over Ben Sharif, who's the next tallest player in the Guiseley team.
Barker's.
Sorry, it is Barker's, isn't it? Oh, that explains that terrible pass earlier. I mean, sorry.
It's a new season. Oh, Cantrell just swipes the air instead of the ball. It's cleared though. And Guiseley recover with Scott Garner, just playing a nice cool ball into Solomon, but he's surrounded by lime green. Does well to play the ball out to the left-hand side. Nicholson into Dylan Barker's. He runs down the left-hand side. 2 players against him, looking for a cross or maybe just to hold on to possession. In the end, he's tackled and it's going to be a throw-in.
That's a bit of a rookie commentary error, that, because I had seen the 15 shirt being put on over on the bench, but he sat exactly where he was, Diggy still. I never paid attention when the substitution was made to who was coming on, only that Spencer was going off after this brilliant debut.
We should make a third, actually, I would think.
It would be nice. It would be nice.
So anyway, to Guiseley, level with the 6-yard box, left-hand side. Launched in by Nicholson, in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away, picked up well by Cantrell, turned second phase well, again played into the box, and again deflected behind for a corner. Nice end towards the final minute of the game.
Well, it won't be Paul Clayton. He's fully clad in black tracksuit over there, looking every bit like the member of staff, and not so much like the active playing staff.
Of course, we're missing Will Thornton at the moment, who had a little foray up front. And Will was getting better after a broken jaw last weekend.
I saw him walk down at half-time, but I can't imagine he's feeling brilliant after that operation.
At least it gets him out of having to do Guiseley radio duties.
Yeah,
that's like many injured players.
That and concussion are about the only 2 that would get you out of having to be volunteered to come and sit up with us chumps.
The ball has been won back by Kings Lynn in their own half, and now they're going to make it way over the halfway line, looking to try and get forward. Clumsy challenge from Martin, free kick to the visitors in front of their away dugout, and the board goes up to say 2 minutes. 2 last minutes, the Lions comfortably 3-0 ahead. A very good performance from Guiseley. And Kettering winning 2-1 against Telford now. The opening day of the season, a few scorelines that will be to note, I would suspect. Now Solomon trying to win the ball. He's dispossessed here by Clunan. Out to the right-hand side. Gash into the box. Up to way by Ben Sharif, but not a convincing clearance. Martin completes with a good flick on. Back into the box now. Headed on by Brad Nicholson and away again by Gabriel Johnson. But again, Guiseley battling, win it back, and then Johnson with a rather tired pass forward, and it's gone all the way back to the goalkeeper. And we just wait the clock down, really. There's a lot of tired legs now, look out there, because they've worked and given absolutely everything to the cause this afternoon. Solomon can't win the ball back as Kings Lynn maintain possession. It's in field to Hawkins, forward, won back by Guiseley. Dylan Barker's in field now. Barker's wins it again on the halfway line, turns back towards his own back line, goes forward by Nicholson, is punted upfield into the Kings in half, and it's all the way back to the goalkeeper. And it's just petering out, isn't it, at the end here?
Well, the referee just checked his watch.
Guiseley have possession here. Solomon, one last foray perhaps. Solomon's brought down on the halfway line. Cynically, he's going to get a few of that if he's going to dink the ball over the opposition. I'm sure he'll get a few knocks across the course of the season.
He will, and there were smiles between him and Jones there. A wry smile, really, from Jones, because he knew he'd been absolutely done once again. He's had a tough second half in particular against Solomon, as he's got a bit more tired. Solomon looks like he's got good fitness. You say there's some tired players out there. Aaron Martin would be one of them, but Solomon looks as fit now as he did at 3 o'clock.
And the whistle goes. The final whistle as the ball was punted up towards Aaron Martin. And what an afternoon, what a start to the 2019-20 season. A superb 3-0 victory for the Lions. Got off by a fantastic Aaron Martin header. Jamie Spencer with a shot that seemed to fox the goalkeeper. And then a third after capitalising on a defensive error. Guiseley have 3 points in the bag, 3 goals in the goals for column. None against. Doesn't get better than that. Guiseley 3, Kings Lynn 0.
Perfect start to the season. Facing a team coming up with momentum and confidence from their previous campaign. Starting out with a whole team full of young players and new players and fresh signings. And people even playing in new positions like Kane Felix.